Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was an Amberjack named Tobias. Tobias the Amberjack lived in the ocean, where he loved to swim with his friends and explore all the wonderful things underwater. Tobias and his friends loved to do everything together. They all moved in a group as one as a school of fish and play games like chase the bubbles and hide and seek in the seaweeds. Tobias loved to play and hang out with his friends, and one of the things he loved to do with his friends was looking for food as a team and having a meal together. They would find a spot in the warmer parts of the ocean and catch all sorts of smaller fish and crustaceans for food and just enjoy the day together. On this particular day, Tobias the Amberjack had been snacking on little fish and crustaceans all day long. As the school of Amberjack were swimming across the ocean, Tobias would munch on shrimp, and he would gobble up tiny fishes, and he even nibbled on some tasty plankton as he hung out and played around with his buddies, not really keeping track of time. It was one of those days where he just wanted to munch on something all day long. There's a lot of good snacks in the ocean today, said Tobias to his friends. Tobias the Amberjack had to catch up with the other fish because he was being left behind because he was snacking so much. But by the time his friends were ready to eat lunch, Tobias the Amberjack was feeling very full. And so he said to his friends, maybe we should wait a little bit before we eat, everyone. What do you think? One of the friends said to Tobias,
Come on, Tobias. We're all hungry and ready to eat today. It's lunchtime.
All of the other friends got excited and started swimming faster, looking for a spot where they can all catch fish and crustaceans and eat together. Tobias the Amberjack's eyes lit up from the excitement, but his tummy felt too full to enjoy anything else. And he said to his friends, I wish I could eat lunch with you all, but I've been snacking all day, and now I'm too full to eat. Another friend said to Tobias,
Well, I know what you can do if you ate too much and want to get hungry again.
Tobias the Amberjack replied, Really? What do you suggest I do? Tobias's friend replied,
Why don't you exercise a bit? Swimming around might make you hungry again.
Tobias the Amberjack thought that was a great idea. Tobias the Amberjack replied, That sounds like a great idea. I would have never thought of that. But that makes a lot of sense. If I could just swim enough, I'll tire myself out and use up all my energy, and I'll surely get hungry again. Amberjacks are known for their powerful swimming abilities, so this idea was easy for him to do. Tobias said to his friends, I'm off to make myself hungry again. I'll see everyone later. And so, he decided to go on a little adventure to burn off some energy. He said goodbye to his friends and set off on his journey. Tobias started off by swimming all over the ocean. He swam through the coral reefs, weaving in and out of the colorful corals, and he swam by all the sea anemones too. Then he went off and chased the school of sardines, zooming left and right, up and down, whatever it took to use up his energy to get hungry again. Then he decided to swim really fast to kind of help speed up the process. Amberjacks are known for their speed, and Tobias was one of the fastest swimmers in his school. As Tobias the Amberjack swam further from the reef he was swimming around at, he ran into some challenges. First, he had to dodge a group of jellyfish just floating lazily in the water. Tobias knew that some of the jellyfish could sting him, so he swam around them carefully. Then he saw a shadow above him. It was a shark. Tobias the Amberjack's heart raced, but he knew he could outswim the shark if he stayed calm and used his speed. So he darted away as the shark started to chase him, and he began to zigzag through the water until the shark gave up and swam away. Tobias the Amberjack kept swimming and swimming. He played with a group of dolphins that were jumping out of the water and splashing back down. He even raced with a sea turtle and swam in circles around it. The sea turtle laughed and said, "Slow down, Tobias. You're making me dizzy." And after all that swimming, Tobias started to feel hungry again. His stomach growled loudly. "All right, I think I'm hungry enough to eat with my friends again," he said to himself. But when he looked around, he realized he was very far from home. "Oh no," Tobias the Amberjack said. "How will I get back to all my friends?" Tobias started swimming back to the direction he thought he came from, but he started getting lost in the ocean. The ocean was so huge, and Tobias the Amberjack was having so much fun swimming around and using up his energy that he ended up losing track of where he was. So he just stopped where he was and didn't know what to do. He was lost and a little worried that he wouldn't be able to find his way back home. "What do I do now?" Tobias said to himself. And he just stayed in the same spot, just wondering how he could find his way back home to his friends. Just then, Tobias the Amberjack felt a strong underwater current. He then remembered about the underwater ocean currents that can carry fish for long distances. He thought to himself, "Maybe this current can take me back home. It's a long shot, but it's all I have, and I have to try." Tobias felt the power of the underwater current as he got closer, and even though he had no idea where the current would take him, he just gave it a try, and he swam into the current, and it whisked him away. Tobias yelled as he was being moved by the current. Whee! He zoomed through the water, feeling the current push him along. He passed by schools of fish and seahorses and even zoomed by a giant squid. Finally, the current slowed down, and Tobias the Amberjack miraculously found himself back near the coral reef where he started. He spotted his friends who were looking around and waiting for him.
Tobias, you made it back,
one of his friends cheered. "We saved you some crabs," his other friend said, while pointing at some crabs that were just hanging out. This time, Tobias the Amberjack's tummy rumbled, and he happily gobbled up the crabs. "Thanks, friends," he said with a big smile as he was eating up the crabs. "That was quite an adventure." And just as Tobias was about to take another bite, he let out a loud burp. It was so loud that it echoed through the reef. Tobias the Amberjack's friends all laughed together. "Oops, excuse me," Tobias said, giggling. And Tobias the Amberjack learned that day that he should be mindful of eating snacks before it's mealtime. And from that day on, he made sure not to snack on too much before their mealtime as a school of fish. He really loved to snack, but he loved to eat with his friends even more. And he was willing to sacrifice snacking just so he could enjoy a meal with all his friends, instead of having to go through all that trouble again and possibly get lost in the ocean. And Tobias also learned that sometimes a little adventure can make the food during mealtime taste much better. And the Amberjack lived happily ever after. The end. Amberjacks are fish that are found in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and are in the genus Seriola of the family of Chirongidae. Most of the Seriola species are known to be amberjacks. Amberjacks are predators and can be found usually in the open ocean. Amberjacks are large and powerful fish. Amberjacks can be covered in shiny silver scales with a bright yellow stripe running along their sides. Amberjacks have strong fins that help them swim fast, and their bodies are long and streamlined. Some amberjacks have dark stripes that run from their eyes to their fins, and their tails are crescent-shaped and helps them move swiftly in the water. Amberjacks live in the ocean, especially in the warmer waters. They like to stay near coral reefs where there's plenty of food and places to hide. You can find amberjacks in both deep and shallow parts of the ocean. Amberjacks are predators, and they love to eat smaller fish, crustaceans, and even plankton. When amberjacks eat, they're really good at catching their food really fast. Amberjacks are incredibly fast and can swim at high speeds, up to 50 miles per hour. Amberjacks often swim in groups called schools. Amberjacks can avoid predators like sharks by swimming really fast. Amberjacks have powerful muscles, and they also use ocean currents to travel long distances underwater. Amberjacks can live up to 17 years old. Amberjacks can grow to the size of a child, and some could even grow up to 6 feet in length. Some amberjack can grow up to 200 pounds. The more smaller amberjacks can weigh up to 40 pounds, but they're still large and powerful. There are 9 species of amberjack, which are the Guinean amberjack, greater amberjack, lesser amberjack, Samson fish, yellowtail amberjack, fortune jack, Japanese amberjack, banded rudderfish, and the high-fin jack. Amberjacks are known to be a popular sport fish, and they're also known in many cultures to be a tasty fish to eat. They're well known to be eaten by cultures from around the world and mostly known for their Pacific amberjacks in Japanese food. Amberjacks are usually confused with tunas, but the difference is that amberjacks can grow up to 6 feet long and weigh up to 200 pounds, while tuna can grow up to 14 feet long, and some tuna can weigh up to 1,800 pounds. Amberjacks are typically streamlined in their body shape, with a silvery gray to olive color, while tuna have more of a torpedo-shaped body and are generally metallic blue on top with a silvery bottom, but both are very strong and fast swimmers. Amberjacks are also known as pilotfish, moonfish, runner, pompano, and jack. Have you seen a real-life amberjack before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye! If your child enjoys cats, drawing, or writing, you might also like my Everyday Cats Journals. They're a 4-book journal series, each with fun covers showing cats with human bodies doing silly and everyday things. Inside, kids can look for little objects from the cover that appear in the top corners of the pages and try to find them all as they write or doodle. The Everyday Cats Journals are available on Amazon. You can find all the details in the show notes.